I never thought a simple job at a cafe could ruin my life. Back then, I was just another girl in the city, scraping by, juggling side gigs, living paycheck to paycheck. When I landed the barista job at Starbucks, one of those upscale cafes downtown where the rich come to sip and gossip, I felt lucky. During training, the manager, a sharp woman with perfectly styled hair and piercing eyes, emphasized one thing above all: the recipe, especially for hot coffee.
Always boil hotter than standard. It brings out the aroma. It's our signature.
The coffee hissed and steamed like a dragon, bubbling so violently I couldn't believe it was meant to be served. It didn't just look hot, it looked angry. I hesitated just for a second, asking if that kind of temperature was safe. She waved off my concern.
It's our technique, proprietary. Just follow the protocol. You don't want to mess up a client's order, trust me.
And so I did. I told myself not to question things, that this was just how high-end places worked. Every morning before shift, I arrived early and practiced, committed to perfecting each pour. One morning, my hand slipped. Just a tiny splash of that boiling water landed on the back of my hand. The skin blistered almost instantly, red and raw and puffing up like an angry welt. I stared at it, horrified. If one drop did that, what would happen if someone spilled an entire cup? Still, the pay was good, better than anything I'd had before. So I didn't quit. I needed the job. I needed to eat. So I wore gloves, smiled, and kept my head down. One afternoon during a busy lunch shift, Nancy walked in, wealthy, poised, clutching that tiny fur-lined purse that probably cost more than my rent. I knew her by reputation. Everyone did. She was the kind of regular you never crossed. She walked up to the counter, glanced at me and said,
"New girl, my coffee better be flawless, darling."
I nodded and started preparing it, following every instruction to the letter. Precise temperature, exact seconds of extraction, careful swirl of milk. My hand trembled slightly as I carried the drink to her table, weaving through the crowded floor. And then someone brushed my elbow. Just a nudge. A stupid, accidental bump from a man. The cup flew. I watched in slow horror as the steaming liquid arced through the air and landed square on Nancy's face. She screamed, loud, raw, and horrible. The cup clattered to the floor. Her papers, some kind of business documents, were soaked. Chaos erupted. Someone called for an ambulance. I couldn't move. I was frozen watching her writhe, her perfect skin already reddening and bubbling. The next morning, the manager called me aside. She didn't even look me in the eye.
This was your mistake. You spilled the drink. She got second-degree burns, face and neck. Her documents were destroyed. Her clients backed out. Now she wants compensation. Between medical bills and damages, it could hit 100 million.
I blinked, stunned. My tongue stuck to the roof of my mouth. But I didn't mean to...
She's blaming us, but we're blaming you. The store won't be taking responsibility.
I was fired on the spot. No severance, no support, just a mess of apologies and a slammed door. I walked home in a daze. I didn't eat that night, or the next. I tried calling a legal clinic, but the wait list was weeks long. No one offered help to someone like me, just a poor girl who poured the wrong cup of coffee. So I did something desperate. I found her address on a hospital invoice copy I wasn't supposed to see. And I went to her. It was a mansion, huge, cold, with towering gates. I waited for hours, then dropped to my knees, hands clasped together like a child praying. When she stepped into view, her face was barely recognizable, scarred and swollen, her skin sagging like melted wax. Yet her smile was colder than ever, sharpened by pain into something cruel and controlled.
Begging won't fix what you did.
I can't pay. I don't have anything left. But maybe I can give you something else. My skin. A graft. I'll sign whatever you want. Just please, let me go afterward. Her eyes gleamed. She didn't answer. Days later, a woman arrived. Calm, professional, like someone from a law firm. She said Madame Nancy had accepted my request, and told me to come with her. The clinic was ready. There was no time to hesitate. I still had doubts, but the thought of having that $100 million debt erased kept me from turning back. There was no way I could repay that kind of money. Not in this life. Maybe this was the only way out I had left. When I arrived at the clinic, everything felt too quiet. The doors closed behind me with a soft click and didn't reopen. The nurses were polite but distant, like they already knew I wouldn't be walking out. I was asked to sign a long waiver. I hesitated, scanning the dense print, until one of them pointed out a clause near the bottom.
Voluntary donor. No liability assumed. In exchange, all outstanding debts will be cleared.
I lay still, breath shallow, body trembling, but I didn't resist. Even as fear twisted inside me, I clenched my teeth and let the needle slide in. The world blurred, slow, heavy, unreal. Through the haze, I saw Nancy standing near. Her burns were covered in thick bandages, but her voice cut through softly.
Your skin is exquisite.
The surgeon raised the scalpel, its blade gleaming cold beneath the lights. I still believed they'd only take a patch, just enough to fix her face. But then he looked over my skin, lingering on its tone, its texture.
This will fetch a fortune.
They took more than they needed, much more. At first, it was a faint pressure, like a whisper. Then came the burning, as the blade began to cut. Not one section, not one wound. They kept going inch by inch, layer by layer, until there was nothing left. After that, the clinic's records vanished, the cameras conveniently failed, and my name was erased, as if I had never existed at all. Months later, people spoke of Nancy's miraculous recovery, her flawless skin, her beauty reborn. She was hailed as a symbol of strength and praised as an inspiration. But no one ever asked what it had cost, or who had paid for it. And no one knew. No one knew what she took. Somewhere, in the back of that clinic, in a drawer or freezer or maybe just behind a steel door, what's left of me is still there, waiting, whispering.
She wasn't the first, and she won't be the last.